What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus negotiation news report for Friday, October 2nd. Yes, today is the day. Today is the day that many people have been waiting for, and I do have some good news. I do have some bad news, but I do have some good news regarding the overall direction of stimulus moving forward. First, let me address the bad news, which is kind of disguised as good news. Many people are going to say this is good, this is really good, this is great. But the truth is, it's actually bad news. Yesterday, the House passed another economic relief package, Heroes 2.0. However, many Democrats voted against this bill as it is only for show. This is not a bipartisan bill, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's just for show. This bill passed the House yesterday, 214 to 207. It only passed by 7 votes. That's it. It was very close. Now, this bill is seen by many as just a ploy to give the House Democrats something to tell their voters when they go back to their districts that, hey, we tried, but Republicans just didn't want to pass our bills. Okay, well, most are anticipating this bill to be dead on arrival once it reaches the Senate. Mitch McConnell has already stated anything over $2 trillion is not going to happen. If there is a 2 in the front, it is not going to pass. There are still many Republicans that will not vote on something that is over $1 trillion. So there's a huge gap. There's a big disparity, and that's one of the issues, is that some of the issues are between the two parties, but a lot of the issues are within the party themselves, between Democrats and between Republicans. So until they can fix that, there's going to be more issues. Now, Steven Mnuchin said yesterday that him and Nancy Pelosi will continue to negotiate. They will speak again today to see if anything changed overnight, which I can tell you, there has been changes. All we need are some subtle changes that would move the needle one direction or the other. Will Republicans come up and agree on a closer to $2.2 trillion package, or will Democrats come down and agree on a closer to $1.5, $1.6 trillion package? Well, a couple things happened last night. First, President Trump and the First Lady tested positive for COVID-19 and are now in the quarantine process. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully, everything's good, everything's fine, but again, people are contracting this virus. It's not a hoax, it is out there. Also, in a couple of hours, in about 30 minutes from me publishing this video, right now it is 4 a.m. Yeah, it's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. right now as I'm shooting this video. So, in an hour and a half, the September jobs report is going to be released. It's released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Pacific Standard Time, so I'm 3 hours behind. Well, this is going to be released. I promise you I will give you an update on what this means, what is shown in this report, and how this is going to affect stimulus negotiations moving forward. Now, here's the good news. Well, here's the good news where we are currently at in the stimulus negotiations. President Trump has instructed Republicans to come up to at least $1.5 trillion. If you remember, President Trump, it's reported that he will accept anything under $2 trillion. He instructed Republicans, let's come up, let's get up over that $1 trillion mark, and many Republicans agreed. So he had the votes within the Senate. Okay, if we give Nancy Pelosi $1.6 trillion. If we give that to her, will the Senate pass it? Well, President Trump, Mitch McConnell, Mark Meadows, Steve Mnuchin, they addressed this with other Republicans, other Senate Republicans, and they had the votes. The problem is Nancy Pelosi said no. We do not want a $1.6 trillion package. Let's move forward with the $2.2 trillion package because that actually meets the needs of the American people. The other good news is that Steve Mnuchin is not going anywhere. He's going to be there. He's going to negotiate. He will continue to negotiate with Nancy Pelosi moving forward, whether she is in Washington or not. Most of their conversations have been over the phone, except for the one yesterday where they had about a 90-minute conversation in person. Other than that, they have all been on the phone. So, this is good news. Steve Mnuchin is the one that is the lead negotiator, along with somewhat of Mark Meadows. However, he's kind of taken a back seat as of lately, but it's still moving forward. Steve Mnuchin is the one to get this done. Another good thing is Nancy Pelosi knows that she must get a deal done to truly help out House Democrats in tight elections. This could mean that this could create a swing in state delegations moving forward. And if you remember, I addressed this in a couple videos ago where I talked about how the House could be the deciding factor when choosing the next president of the United States. So Nancy Pelosi is on record saying that yes, they will change their election strategy, they will change their campaigning so that they can hopefully gain back some of these state delegations, because that is what is needed. Now, just because a bill was passed yesterday does not mean it's going to go anywhere. I just want to be clear, because a lot of people out there, especially on YouTube, are going to say, yes, a bill was passed, awesome, we're getting stimulus checks. No, that's not really the case. Okay, if you remember, the HEROES Act, the first initial HEROES Act that was passed on March 15th, or May 15th, excuse me, that was passed on May 15th. That was like 140 days ago. Well, nothing happened. So just because a bill passed through the House, or if it were to pass through the Senate, does not mean it's going anywhere. It has to pass through both the House and the Senate and then get sent over to President Trump for his signature. Now, the truth is that Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi both stated that they are far apart on multiple issues, mainly state and local government funding and the language in which the stimulus is distributed. So those are the two main things. State and local government funding, we knew that. We knew that going in. We knew that for a while. But the other thing is the language. Nancy Pelosi has stated this multiple times. It's the language. By language, she is specifically talking about who gets what, when do they get it, how much do they get, things like that. Now, both parties are in agreement on these things. $1,200 stimulus checks, $500 for dependents of all ages, but they are not in agreement, and this is the language, they are not in agreement where Republicans say if you don't have a social security number, you do not get a stimulus check. And Democrats are saying, hey, what about the people with an ITIN? They should get a stimulus check. Well, that's the language. That's what they're working out. The other thing is unemployment. Republicans want $400 per week. Democrats want $600. For state and local government funding, that's another agreement. They both agree there should be some. Mark Meadows has stated that we need roughly $250 billion to cover the losses due to COVID-19 for state and local governments. However, Democrats are saying that, well, yes, that may be what we need now, but we want to anticipate the further losses. So let's factor in those as well. Republicans do not want to do that. Again, goes back to the language. Another one, money for airlines, school funding, testing and tracing, rental and mortgage assistance, PPP funding, funding for the United States Postal Service. They're in agreement there. However, Republicans want to give $5 billion less than what Democrats are proposing. So they are in agreement that a lot of these things are needed. Steve Mnuchin said, no matter what stimulus package is passed, there will be a second stimulus check. That $1,200 stimulus check that everyone is hoping for and praying comes very soon, that will be in the next stimulus package. Now, a couple of the hangups that I have seen moving forward has nothing to do with COVID. Really doesn't, which means that this is not truly a relief bill. This is somewhat of a bailout for some people or some states and cities. For example, Democrats are seeking funding for anticipated state and local government losses. Not actual losses, just anticipated. Republicans, on the other hand, are seeking tax breaks for the wealthy. That has nothing to do with COVID. So here's the issue that I have moving forward, and you probably have this exact same issue, is right now, neither party seems to be negotiating in good faith for the American people, the people that they were voted in to serve. They're not negotiating in good faith for them, for us. Yet, both are throwing shade at the other party for not negotiating in good faith. Just doesn't make much sense. Right now, what I can tell you is that we still have a long ways to go, but the road to additional stimulus is becoming a little bit more clear as Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin continue to negotiate and update us on what they are talking about. So let's just hope that they continue to negotiate until something gets done, something gets agreed upon, as opposed to calling it quits and telling the American people, well, we tried. Alright guys, I do have plans on doing another video very soon regarding the new jobs report that will come out in very soon, probably about an hour. So I'm going to sit around, make sure I do another update on that, keep you updated on what's going on. If there's new news, Nancy Pelosi comes out, Steve Mnuchin comes out and says something, I will update you there as well. It might be a little bit before I do that video, but just know I do plan on doing it. It'll probably come out, I don't know, in a few hours, maybe midday today. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't want to be on the lookout and you just want to be notified when it comes out, all you gotta do is click that subscribe button down below and YouTube will notify you as soon as I release that video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you guys on the next one.